What's up, guys, and welcome back to Skins in the Game. I'm Tim. Over there is J-Dubs. How you doing today, J-Dub?
Doing good. How you doing?
Not too shabby. A lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on.
Imagine
we got a report
that.
card. We got a report card from the NFLPA. We'll go over that a little bit. The Eric Bieniemy press conference was last week. We'll touch on that. And then a few more hires. Carson Wentz finally cut, as well as Bobby Mccain. A little bit more surprising. And then Daron Payne was franchise tagged. And Jeff Bezos might be actually getting shut out by Daniel Snyder. We'll talk about all of that and finish it up with Weddle. But first, we'll start with, like we do every show, Dad Joke of the Week.
All right. Have you heard about those new corduroy pillows?
No.
They're making headlines.
Making headlines.
No qualification.
Yeah,
you told me stop qualifying.
Yes, that's funny. Yeah, with like the when they're laying like this and you get up and there's like lines on your face. That's what you're
Yep.
Nice.
See,
It's been really boring without your streams, Tim. Thanks, Gentees. I appreciate the kind words. There will be more streams coming. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. But yeah, I've just been slammed at work too. But there's also other things going on, so which is good. All right. Well, this week we decided to do our draft of the worst quarterbacks of all time. So we're going to have some fun with the worst quarterbacks ever. Last week, J-Dubs had the first pick, so I got the first pick this week. And there's two good ones, right? There's two really, really good ones to go with. But I'm going to go with who was the number one overall pick, and that's Jamarcus Russell as my worst quarterback of all time. Didn't study, didn't do nothing, had a horrible record in touchdown interception. Jamarcus Russell, number one.
All right. Well, I struggled with who I wanted to be number one, and you didn't hit either one.
Oh,
but I'm going to go with Kyle Bowler.
He wasn't even on my list, but he was bad. That's a good one.
The
All
year
right,
the Ravens won the Super Bowl, they went 5 games without scoring a touchdown.
Well, no, he wasn't the Super Bowl that year.
No,
he was the quarterback that year.
He was the quarterback.
No,
Yes,
when they
he
won
was.
the Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer was the quarterback.
I thought it was maybe I'm wrong.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, Kyle Bowler, that's funny.
I got bad intel because I.
But it's okay. He was bad for the Ravens for a while. All right, well, then I'll just go with it. If you leave it there for me, I'll take Ryan Leaf. 14 touchdowns, 36 picks, 4-17 record.
Man.
But terrible.
All right, then I'm going to go with Mark Sanchez.
Darn it! The butt fumble was on my draft board. Oh, the butt fumble. Oh,
I knew it was, and I was
so bad. I'm gonna go with. There's a few guys here on my list. Let's go with the hometown guy, Heath Schuler. 15 touchdowns, 33 picks. Heath Schuler, first round pick.
All right,
So that's my third pick.
I'm going with Jamarcus Russell.
No, I already went with him. He was my first pick.
Oh, my bad. Damn, I wasn't paying attention, obviously. Hold on. Let me go through my list. Hold on. Somebody that I actually...
I have a couple of interesting ones on here.
I was thinking Patrick Ramsey, but I think he was bad. So I'm going to go with Patrick Ramsey, even though he got sacked so many times.
Yeah.
He was sacked so many times, I felt bad picking him, but...
All right, I'm going to go with Frank Tripucka. 69 touchdowns, giggity, and 124 interceptions, 17-34-1 record. How he was remaining the starting quarterback for so long, I'm going to go with him.
Oh, my God, that's so tough.
2 more picks for you.
Damn, that's tough. All right, I'm going to pull a no-name out. Chad Hutchinson.
Chad Hutchinson.
So-
I know nothing about him.
Bears.
We're drafting the top 10 quarterback. Top 10, or we're drafting the worst quarterbacks of all time, in our opinions. All right, this was one of the worst touchdowns to interception ratios I can find. Kim McQuilkin, 4 touchdowns, 29 interceptions, a 1-7 touchdown to interception.
Is that
ratio.
bad? I'm sorry. Is that bad?
Oh, there's some other good ones on my list, but who you got as the last one?
All right, I'm going to pull the one that you probably have on your list. It's Tim Tebow.
No, I don't. He actually won a playoff game. That's hilarious.
I know.
The other one I wanted to mention, my honorable mention, is George Blanda. He had 42 interceptions in a year.
Yeah, but he was also the punter or the kicker. I think the kicker on that team.
George Blanda? Maybe he was. I don't know.
I
was
have
old.
to look that up, but
You might be right.
he was.
But 42 picks in a year. That's worth an honorable mention for sure. Also, Nathan Peterman, his first game ever, he had 5 interceptions. He was on my list. But anyway. All right, good times, good times. What's up, everybody in the chat? Yeah, Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf. Paxton Lynch is a good one. Expert said Nathan Peterman. Robert Griffith III. Classic Mark Sanchez. Was a baller, though. Yeah, he did. He had some good years in the New York, but really we're tainted by what he did here in Washington. Dan Orlovsky.
All right, by the way, I just pulled this up. George
Yeah.
Blanda, TDs to interceptions, which you just said 236 to 277.
Yeah.
Completion percentage under 50%. Passer rating 60.6. Field goals 335 of 639, made 52.4% of his field goals, and was 943 out of 959 extra points at 98.3%.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Well,
Yeah, he was a starter for a long time.
He was an okay kicker. Wasn't good as a quarterback.
All right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here for Washington, and we're about to hop right into it. All right. Washington received a report card. The NFLPA sent out report cards to all the teams. These are based on surveys from the players. Now, I am taking this with a little bit of a grain of salt because for some reason on one page they have a set of grades, and then when you select it to look further, the grades change. So either way, though, both of our grades were really flipping bad. Are you ready for this? Did you see this yet at all?
I have not, but I want to know the criteria of it. But no, I had not heard this.
They sent out a survey to all the players. So this is feedback from the players because it's the NFL Players Association. So we were ranked dead last on our report card. Dead last out of 32 teams. All right, it depends on which one you go with. I'm just going to go here. Breakdown of key categories. Treatment of families. What do you think the letter grade is?
You're asking me? I see your notes.
I know what it is.
No, I see your notes. So
Shoot, I did put it in here too. Okay, all right, but then I won't do it that way. We're just going to go through it. Treatment of families, F. Food service / nutrition. One of the lists says F-. This one says D+. Still bad either way. Weight room. One of them says F-. The other one says C+. So that's a big change. Again, I don't know why. What's up? Yes.
No, I was going to ask, is that the facility sucked that bad? Is what they're saying? Or was it the people running the facility? Or was it, like I said, that's what I want to know.
It's the facilities. Because after that, it says strength coaches was an A+. So we actually got really good reporting back from the actual strength staff. So this is
the guys trying to run it in this facility did the best they could.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Exactly.
All right, I follow you now.
All right. The strength staff with A-. Training room, which is different than the weight room. This is where they get their treatments usually. F-. F-.
Is
the
there
training
even
staff?
such a thing? I thought the F was the bottom. Like, if you're F, you're at the bottom of the
You
barrel.
failed.
What is
You failed. Yeah. Either way, bad. Training staff. I've gotten mixed reports here because on the same website, just different pages, one says B plus, the other says D. So one says we're actually pretty good, the other one says we're not. See, this is what I'm taking. You got to take it with a grain of salt. But either way, it's something. And then our locker room was an F. So team overall, F minus, ranked 32nd in the whole situation.
By the way, I read that there was, and I know the Redskins have another girl doing something, but there was someone in the training staff, the first of her position, or the first position being fulfilled by a girl, and they were talking about how great she was. So she must be part of the strength staff or the training staff, because
I don't know. We might. Yeah, I think we hired 3 women when Ron Rivera came in to do different positions that were groundbreaking per se. I know we have the running backs coach. I'm struggling to remember her name, but she's the first women's coach on a staff, or she was assistant running backs coach, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I don't think this surprises any Washington fan. We are terrible in many, many ways, but also our facilities are getting up there as like one of the oldest, right? I mean, we came in and built a new city, 98,
97, 98, 97, yeah, late 90s. So yeah, it's
climbing
got
to
to
be
be
one of the
older.
oldest. And then Dan Snyder, he's not spending anything to upgrade this kind of crap. So, and we're gonna get a new stadium soon.
Shocked.
So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, and also the locker room. Yeah, the locker room was an F. Yeah, I mean, this is just brutal. But anyway, we're getting graded with an F minus. Have you ever watched film on him? He ignores wide open receivers every game. What are we talking about? I don't know. But yeah, F minus is crazy. That's right, Hassan. That is right. Better than prior years. Oh, you're talking about the staff? Yeah, thought the training staff was decent. I know, what was it, a year and a half ago, our head trainer got arrested for illegally selling drugs or something. So we only
but I have a problem with F minus because if you're in school and you get an F plus, is that supposed to make you feel like you got? That's supposed to make you feel good. I mean, an F is an F. It's like F.
Try again.
Oh,
Try
F
again.
minus. Okay, yeah, but no, you got an F plus. Oh, I got some redeeming quality. Yeah, I'm not sure about F.
So you're saying I haven't hit rock bottom? If I haven't hit bottom, I can't bounce back up. So if you give me that plus, I'm going to still keep going down.
Unlike Blutarski, I don't know if you know that reference.
What's
0 point Blutarski.
Blutarski? I don't know.
Blutarski. John Belushi and Animal House, where the dean of students comes in and he's going through grade point averages and he goes, Mr. Blutarski, 0.0.
Oh no. Making it F plus doesn't make it better. Yeah, Jalen agrees with you. That's funny.
Well, like I said, is F minus worse than an F? I mean, is that like a shot saying if I could score it lower?
Or are you subtracting bad from it? So it's actually F minus would be an improved. No, I'm just kidding. It's bad. It doesn't matter. However you slice it, it sucks. Anyway, all right, let's talk about something that was much, much better. And the Eric Bieniemy press conference. Why not Washington? So there was a lot of the standard cliches. Got to get to know the guys. My job is to put them in the best situations to be explosive. Our goal is to win, not necessarily individual stats. All these things expected. And overall, I thought Eric Bieniemy did very well. And the idea that he does not interview well, I think, is completely dispelled with how he handled the press conference. He does have a little bit of mannerisms which you can make fun of. It's his fake smile. It was almost not even like a smile. Like his face was like, I can't even do it. My face does not move it. Like it didn't go up as a smile. It was like that almost.
Yeah.
All right. And
by the way, Brett,
when he's waiting for the next question.
Yeah. By the way, Brett and Antoinette are on the same thing.
Oh yeah.
In an F plus, a D minus, or almost a D minus.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not failing if I have a F plus. Yeah, I don't get it.
Another one of his mannerisms is everything's at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, it's my job to do this. At the end of the day, it's my job to. I heard it. I bet you could, if you took a shot every time you heard it at the end of the day, you'd be feeling pretty good by the end of the press conference.
Well, I don't think you've worked in an office atmosphere, but there's a thing called BS bingo, where it's a joke. Nobody's ever done it, but you hand out a bingo sheet when at the end of the day, moving forward, I'm trying to think. There's like 9 different comments, and then the first one, and you're supposed to jump up and say, "I win, BS." So yeah, at the end of the day is
maybe you should start working those at the beginning of the day.
Right. Well, like they said, or moving forward. Which other way do you move? No, we're going to move backwards today. We're moving
Let's go
backwards.
back in time. Yeah. But as again, those are just like little. Hey, Nick Sirianni had one of the worst press conferences that you could imagine as the opening press conference, and he's turned out to be a really great coach. So, how well you do at the press conference is very low bearing, probably zero bearing of how good of a coach you're going to end up being. But
I'd say I'd call Bill Belichick. How good is he in the press conference?
Yeah, exactly. The one thing that did come out that that was like a little bit interesting, not surprising, but somebody asked, was Dan Snyder, like, did you talk to the owner at all? And he basically was like, Ron was the lead here. So Dan Snyder had no involvement in the interview process and getting to know Eric Bieniemy and what. So it's Dan Snyder and Tanya Snyder seem to be completely out the door with day-to-day processes. They're not involved at all. So that's a good sign that, because there's some rumors that like
they've delegated.
Yeah, there's some rumors that like Dan Snyder and Tanya Snyder might still be trying to come up with a scheme of how to keep the team or whatever. I think that they're pretty much out. It's a matter of when, not if, which is good. But overall, yeah, the press conference I thought went completely fine, other than a couple of the repetitive things, which was funny. It's more funny than anything. And then the players seemed to respond well to it, though. There was a bunch of players in the front row, which was cool. Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson, Cameron Curl, Sadiq Charles, Sam Howell, and I think De'Ami Brown, and maybe a couple of others. Logan Thomas, I think, came later. So a bunch of guys sitting in the front row of his press conference. I didn't even realize players went to those things, and maybe they don't normally, but they did this time, which was cool. So
maybe it was a vote of confidence. By the way, I read, and maybe we talked about this before, that Terry McLaurin has had a reception with 8 different quarterbacks for the Redskins. Did we talk about that already, or?
I mean, we could touch on it right now, but yeah, I mean, it's so unfortunate, his career, when it comes to quarterbacks. It's like, just start naming them: Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith, Case Keenum,
Carson Wentz,
Josh
Heineke,
Johnson, Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke,
Alex Smith. Did you say him already?
Yes,
Maybe you did.
Gilbert. There was like the Gilbert somebody that was like one game on that COVID game. We had to bring him in off the streets, but he was a quarterback that threw to him. Who else did we play this year? Oh, Sam Howell, of course, is another one. That's already 8. I mean, can we name more? I don't know. Maybe we can.
Kirk Cousins?
No, Kirk Cousins was gone by then. By the time we drafted Dwayne Haskins, because Dwayne Haskins and Terry were drafted the same year. But yeah, so at least 8. I don't think Steven Montez ever played in a game, but and he probably didn't catch one of his passes in practice either. Oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, right.
Was another one. Yeah, it's been brutal. He's averaging like every 4 games a new quarterback. Yeah, it's brutal. Garrett Gilbert, that's who it is. Garrett Gilbert. Yeah, it's brutal.
And he wasn't our franchise quarterback? I'm shocked.
Terry caught a pass with a punter. No, we haven't done a fake punt pass in a while. Or like, I don't know if Tressway's ever has Tressway ever thrown the ball.
No, I don't think when Tressway gets back there, they just want him to punt it because he punts it so well. So I don't think they're thinking it's as good as interception outside the goal line.
Yeah. Does he have any throwing sets? I don't know if he ever has. I really don't think so. Passing. Okay, no, wait. He does. He has 2 passes in his career. Wait a minute. I just had a brain blast. Didn't he throw one to Dunbar down the left sideline against maybe the Giants when Jay Gruden was here?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And that was a 31-yard pass in 2016. I think I remember that one. 2018, there was a 7-yard pass as well. I don't remember that one. But he's 2 for 2, 38 yards. No touchdowns, no nothing. And both of them went for first down, so he succeeded twice.
So he's got to have the top quarterback rating, right?
Yeah, rating is 164.6.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should transfer him to quarterback.
But what's weird is that, yeah, he according to his career, it's 164.6. But in 2018, he had a 95.8. And in 2016, he had a 118.8. So how does that average out to 164.6? I'm not here to figure it out.
I'd say
he is 100% YZR QB.
Yeah. I beat you to it, Bodhisattva. Send him over.
Mm.
We don't need. Who needs a punter? Let's
move him to QB ASAP. Yeah, let's be like that high school team that never punts on 4th down. They go for it every single time. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be 4th and 35. They're going for it. Does not matter. But anyway, all right. So he's completed 2 passes. That's interesting to know. And neither of them were to Terry McLaurin. I remember one. I believe the 31-yarder was to Dunbar, if I remember correctly. The receiver that turned DB that also was a gunner for us. The 7-yarder I'm drawing a blank on. But anyway, yeah. All right. Well, there's Eric Bieniemy. He also hired a few dudes. So first off, Ken Sampisi, the quarterbacks coach last season, been there a couple of years since Ron's come in. He has now been elevated to the senior offense advisor / game management, which is cool. Ron Rivera has had problems with game management, so if Sampisi can do the job of, all right, I am going to study what are the best ways of game management, and we can improve in that sense, that would be awesome. What do you think about that move?
No, I think where did Bieniemy get that from? That's Andy Reid. You have to have someone in your ear that says, do this. Call a timeout. Don't call a timeout. Dude, the coach and the offensive coordinator have enough to think about. So Bieniemy, I am sure, learned that from Andy Reid that, no, I can't pay attention to that. I want someone in my ear going, timeout.
Yeah, just do it now.
Yeah, no timeout. Just you worry about what you worry about. I'll tell you. And his job is to figure out the odds or the seconds. So I
also hope he does things like throw the challenge. Like if he's up in the booth, right, and he has like a monitor that he could quickly throw the challenge, and then immediately Ron just so Ron doesn't even have to think about it anymore. It's just he's the guy that throws the flag. That's all that matters. Yes. Right? And yeah, that could be good. I don't know if that's a part of the. Yeah, I don't know if that's a part of his job or not, but I think hiring that kind of a dude would be priceless. I mean, pay that dude $1 million a year. I think he could be completely useful in that spot.
But we had this conversation a week or two ago, or maybe last week, about Bieniemy learning from Andy Reid, and I think Andy Reid knows this stuff. Where it's like I said, game management, challenge flags. I have enough to think about. I want someone there that can go in my ear when they say throw the flag. I just throw the flag. Or if they say call a timeout, I just call a timeout. I can't worry about all this. I'm worried about running a team. So hopefully that's one of the things he learned from Andy, and it makes me feel
or maybe he learned in spite. If I remember, I feel like Andy Reid has been criticized for his game management. So maybe maybe he learned it Andy Reid the opposite way. Which either way, clearly he's learning something to elevate a guy to game management. Whether he learned it from Andy Reid or he learned it from somewhere else, great. I think it's a great move. Very good move.
Yep.
Kyle Allen is another guy we forgot as a quarterback that threw to Terry McLaurin. And then, what's up, Marcus? This is an interesting one. We should sign Jacoby Brissett, draft a quarterback in the mid-rounds, and run those two in Sam Howell in training camp. Maybe. We'll talk more about
Kyle Allen was the Carolina Panther.
Yeah, the one we traded a 5th-round pick for. Yeah, for sure.
That was good.
Please don't trust Ron with timeouts and challenges. Yes, the timeouts wasted. Ugh. It would frustrate me so bad. Do we cut McCain? Yeah, we'll talk more. We're going to be talking about the Carson Wentz and McCain cuts for sure. And this could be an interesting way to go about it. Do we do this to bring in Lamar? I don't think so, but we can touch on that. All right.
I pray to God we didn't, but move
right.
along.
All right, so Sampisi to the game management role. Then we hired Tavita. I believe I spelled this correctly. Tavita Pritchard. He was the offensive coordinator for the Stanford, whatever they are, University of Stanford. What are they? I know they're trees, but I don't remember what they're called. Are they Cardinals, actually? Stanford Cardinals? And their mascot's the trees? I don't know.
I don't know.
He coached Davis Mills in college and a couple other guys. But yes, he is now our quarterback's coach under Eric Bieniemy. So he's going to be the one working with Sam Howell. So hopefully that's something that meshes well. A couple of defensive coaches changes as well with Chris Harris going to Tennessee. We elevated Brent Wieselmeyer instead of Diesel. I think it's Wieselmeyer. Elevated to defensive backs coach. We also then elevated Richard Rodgers to the senior defensive assistant with safeties. And then also Christian Garcia elevated to assistant DB/nickel coach.
So my question is, there's a lot of hirings and promotions. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think the byproduct is people that were released. And you just listed like 6 different people. Are there 6 different people that are now not on the team anymore?
My understanding is Chris Harris, when he was the defensive backs coach. So I think it's just several people being elevated. So Brent Wieselmeyer, he was on the staff already, and he got elevated to DB's coach. And I think Richard Rodgers took his spot, and then Christian Garcia took his spot. So I think it just everybody elevated a spot.
Okay, but wasn't there a DB's coach already?
Yeah, Chris Harris. He's the one that went to Tennessee.
Okay, so it was.
He's like a defensive coach now in Tennessee. He was our DB coach last year. I can't remember if we fired him now or if he just got hired by Tennessee. I want to say we fired him, and then he got picked up by Tennessee after we fired him. So that's why we elevated
So you're saying
him.
there was 5 guys here, and the 1 guy left, and all the 5 guys elevated 1 step. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. Or 3 guys on that one, and then the other 2 were the offensive coaches. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
See, I can follow this stuff.
Not
really, but
yeah. We're not going to talk about that. No, just kidding. All right. Thoughts on Bezos rejected by Senate? Yeah, we'll talk about that too at the end. I have that written down. Does your team have any long-term solutions to the quarterback position? I think it's Sam Howell. Let's get to that right now. We cut Carson Wentz, which was expected. I don't know why it took so long, but it's fine. We finally made moves, and it's not that late. It's fine. The new year hasn't even started yet. But we have officially cut Carson Wentz to save about $26 million this year against the cap. And then we also cut Bobby McCain, which I'm not upset about, right? I'm completely fine with that move. I just didn't expect it.
So who's replacing him?
So remember Derek Forrest? He had a pretty good year.
Yep.
So Derek Forrest is a guy that could be potential replacement. And also they drafted Percy Butler in the 4th round last year. So maybe they saw enough from him where they feel like this year he could be elevated to be more actually like defensive snaps. I remember last year when they drafted him, they said like they expected him to play like 45% of snaps on defense. I do not think that bared out. I don't think he played nearly that many snaps.
So did McCain save money by them letting him go?
So we saved $4.5 million with McCain $26 million with Wentz. So saving over $30 million in cap space with those two cuts. And it was clearly done in preparation to franchise tag Daron Payne, who's nearly $19 million cap hit. And with all those moves, we currently sit at $16.5 million in cap space with Daron Payne's $19 million contract on the books. What do you think about these moves? Do you like this franchise tag of Daron?
Well, all the other moves I'm fine with, but I'll ask the question I asked a long time ago. Maybe you'll remember. Has a franchise tagged player ever worked out good? And I don't mean this year. I mean, I think Daron Payne is great. But in the long term, has a team that is franchised a player come out on the positive end of it?
Very rarely if they actually play on the franchise tag. Now, the franchise tag has many times in the past led to the start of a negotiation for a long-term contract. And that is where I'm hoping we are at with Daron Payne. I hope this is a move to just lock him in so we can't go anywhere else. He can't hit the open market. He is locked here, right? But now we can negotiate off of that, I believe up until, it might be all the way up until sometime in July, but it's at least June. So now this locks us in till June to be able to negotiate a contract that can wipe out the franchise tag. So right now he sits as a $19 million cap hit. That is not necessarily where it will stay, because if we can come up with a long-term agreement, the tag will then be wiped.
Yeah, but follow me for a second here.
Okay.
Isn't it a sign that I assume, and that both sides are working in good faith, that they're negotiating, and the franchise tag comes in when the two sides aren't even close. And so it's like, okay, we can't come to an agreement now. So we're going to franchise tag you. And I've always felt like that's a slight to the player, where it's like, hey, I think maybe he thinks he's worth $20 million a year or $19 million a year. So I want a 5-year deal, and the Redskins come in and say, nope, not giving it to you. Well, then I'm done talking. So now the team comes in and says, okay, we can hold you this year for this amount. We'll come back next year. But if it was amicable, they'd never get to that part or that spot, right? You see what I'm saying? Give them guaranteed money, $19 million. I don't know. I just always feel like the franchise tag is a team going, screw you. And I use screw you because this is a family channel. Mm-hmm. But nope, we're not giving you what you want. So we're going to make you stay here another year, and we'll come back to it. And the team's hoping that he has a down year. He's hoping he has a great year. But next year, they're right back where they were, or whenever they get there, they're not going to get, and I know Kirk Cousins is an extreme example, but he had no desire to play there. So what did the Redskins do? Nope, we're going to keep you here this year. We're going to keep you here the next year, and we're going to give you a low ball offer and then let you go eventually. I just don't know an example of where it ends up good, but I think it's a sign of tension between the sides.
You know what? I don't know if this is available. I'm gonna have to look this up. Percentage of players who play on franchise tag. How often does this turn into something else?
I don't think the percentage is good, but that's anecdotal evidence. I don't know.
I can't find it quickly, so I don't know. I'm just going to, without data-driven memory here, just going off of how I feel the that I've seen the process go in the past.
That's
If
what
they-
anecdotal means, by the way. Not based on data, but based on feeling.
Yes, anecdotal. Well, kind of, right? Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, sure. I understand what anecdotal. Anyway, I understand my point is not like completely numbers based.
Right.
It kind of threw me off. Hold on. Let me get it back. All right. So I just completely lost my train of thought because of this. But
Sorry, you got.
let me get back to it. Hold on. The franchise tag. Oh, yes. Okay. So if they play on the franchise tag, it's got to be not good at all. Like the idea of they then sign the next season, it has to be extremely, extremely low that they actually sign with that team the next year. Because why in the world would you, if you can't come to agreement now, why in the world would you come to the agreement next year after playing on the tag? It doesn't make much sense. And then at that point, too, the second franchise tag is even more expensive. So it goes up. So it's the average of the top 10, and then the second franchise tag automatically goes up 20%. So this is basically the exact situation, like minus $1 million, that Kirk Cousins was in. Remember, we paid him just under $20 million, like 19 and 19.7 or 19.8, and then the next year it went up to $24 million because it times by 20% or like 23.9% or some million. So now this would go from about 19 million to roughly 22.8 or 22.7 million next year.
Let me ask.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. Are you saying that Daron Payne is not going to play on the franchise tag? That he's going to hold out like, I'm not playing? Because now he doesn't have any long-term guarantee. He's got 1 year. So, and he's interior.
Mm-hmm.
He has a chance of blowing out a knee or a lot of different stuff. So does he say, I'm not showing up at training camp? I'm not playing with the franchise tag. I want a 5-year deal. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's where I think it becomes a problem because the guy wants a long-term deal and the Redskins aren't giving it to him. So they're going to go, we'll franchise tag you, which means we're going to pay you an exorbitant amount of money and you're going to come in and not play because you don't want to get it. What if he blows the knee out and he's done? He gets 19 point something million for 1 year. I don't think Daron Payne plays under the franchise tag.
A lot of players have held out for that long-term contract. And that's why I say typically the team is using the franchise tag, like their goal. It obviously doesn't always work out this way because some players don't want to sign like Kirk Cousins or whatever, and some people just fine playing on the 1 year. They really want out of their current situation. But the team's goal and why the franchise tag is there is you lock them here, right? I say no.
I get that.
You're mine. Now you don't have the option of going anywhere else. So you have to come to the table and negotiate, or you're just playing 1 more year here, and this is your contract, right? And the franchise tag is clearly aimed to protect the team from losing their high-value assets. So with Daron Payne, they want to pay him. I think they do. I think they love Daron. Jack Del Rio's talked about how great Daron is and how hard of a worker he is. He comes in. Like, he does not want to let him walk out the door. Ron Rivera, I think, likes him. Mayhew likes him. They want to keep him, especially with how he played last year. I think he had, 10 sacks or something? 11 sacks?
Yeah,
so,
he's really good. But that's my question is,
yes,
the franchise tag indicates that we couldn't come to an agreement in time.
Yet,
exactly. But
we still have until June to come up with the deal where the franchise tag is null and void, right? Like franchise, just because we tagged him right now does not guarantee that he's now playing for $19 million this year and it's set in stone. That's not locked until after, it's either June 15th or something like that. I have to look at it. It's sometime in June or early July.
All right, let's try to put a positive spin on this. So and I shouldn't say argument, but is your suggestion that they haven't started negotiating yet, so they're trying to show Daron that we want you,
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put the franchise tag on you, which means regardless of what happens here, you get 19 point something million next year. And we want to show you good
Sorry.
faith.
Jared asked
What?
if I'm wasting my time here. Does anyone see me? And everybody's like, where did Jared go? Jared's a ghost. Sorry. Love you, Jared. But go ahead. Keep going. Sorry, that just made me laugh.
No, all right, let me get back on. So and I don't want to say argument, but is the suggestion that the Redskins and Daron Payne have not even started negotiating yet. And in good faith, they're saying, we want you so bad that we're going to put this 19.5 million, whatever it is, on the table to say, we want you to stay around and negotiate with us. Because I've always thought, like, they've been negotiating over the last few weeks. They haven't come to an agreement, Nope. And now they're like, you know what? We're stamping you with the franchise tag, which means you got to stay with us another year. Do you understand my point?
I would not say the franchise tag is good faith. I would not say that at all.
So you think they've already been negotiating, they have not come to an agreement because they can't get to the number that each side. So the team exercises their right to say, you know what, we can't get an agreement with you, but we're going to make you hang out another year to see if we can. I'm sorry, I know you're distracted.
I heard what you said, and yes, the franchise tag is not a project of good faith. It also doesn't mean that like the contract negotiations are sour. I don't think it means that either. It does mean that.
No, I'm just saying they haven't agreed. Right.
Right. So it usually buys the team more time, and then I think most of the time, a contract it is come to a agreement before the start of the season. I don't think a whole lot of players end up playing on the franchise tag because it's not good for the player. Because you're only guaranteeing $19 million. When you sign a 4-year deal, you're probably getting guaranteed $60 million or $70 million, right? And that's the number that players care about the most. How much are you guaranteeing me? Like that was the Tyreek Hill situation, right? Where the yearly number was fine, but the guaranteed money was not fine. And so then that's why he ended up going to Miami. And they were like, well, sorry, we can't get there. We're sending you to Miami, right? They really care about that guaranteed number. But what the franchise tag does is it locks you here. Now you're not hitting free agency. Now you have to negotiate with us. Or you just disdain and now it goes completely sour. But it's a good thing, I think.
But that's my point is somebody's playing the hard ass here. It's either the Redskins or Daron Payne.
Mm-hmm.
Daron Payne has an idea in his head what he wants. The Redskins have an idea in their head of what they're going to pay. But now we've gotten to the point where the player's going, I'm not accepting your offer, and the team can go, you know what? You're going to have to hang around another year.
Right.
And to us to get to. So that's why I feel like it always ends up negative, because what is Daron Payne asking for? Nobody's telling us.
Mm-hmm.
Is he asking for 22 million, 24 million? What is he asking for?
Right.
Are the Redskins offered him 16 million and he's going, nope, not taking? Who's playing the hard line here? And we don't know.
True.
So whenever the franchise tag comes in, I think it's a sign that the player and the team are far apart, and the team has the ability to say, you know what, screw you. You're going to stay around here another year and come around to what we want. Or I don't know if I'm making sense, but I just feel like it's a negative thing.
And I completely understand what you're saying. But do you think, the real question, the real stuff, do you think this is a chance to bring in Lamar? Are we gunning? Are we making moves here? Zigging and zagging to come in and swoop in and go trade for Lamar Jackson?
All I got to say is I hope to God that's not what we're doing.
Not a Lamar guy.
No. It has nothing to do with Lamar.
Uh-huh.
It has to do with how many picks we have to give up to get Lamar, and I don't think Lamar is worth that. Lamar is great, and Baltimore, great. Love the guy, but I'm not giving up like 3 first rounds and a second round and X amount of dollars to get a quarterback. I don't want to do that. We've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can have a serviceable quarterback and get there, but don't sell the farm to get Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, no,
That's all I'm saying.
First of all, Rivera's told us this is not what's happening. Right now, he said Sam Howell, excuse me, Sam Howell is going to come into camp as our QB1. If we make a move for Lamar, Sam Howell's not coming into camp as a QB1. He has 0.0 chance of being QB1, right? And some people say, maybe Ron's playing hard, or, he's trying to hide his card. When we were looking for a quarterback last year, we didn't hide nothing. We interviewed 42 different quarterbacks, or we called everybody. I think we called for Pat Mahomes. We called for everyone. We weren't hiding anything. We said, here's our sleeve. Nothing's up here. Take a look. Nothing up our sleeves. We are showing you our complete hand. And I think he's doing that again. I don't think he is being sneaky here. I think this is clearly, they believe in Sam. They want Eric Bieniemy to coach Sam. They saw enough in practice. They saw enough in the final game that Sam, they want him to be the future here in Washington. They've already started the comparisons to Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes he only played one game at the end of his rookie season. Then Eric Bieniemy came in and they took off, right? Here comes Sam Howell. He only played one game and he played well. Here comes Eric Bieniemy and it's time to take off, just like Patrick Mahomes. So this is what they want to do. Ron Rivera also talked about in his interview after the Eric Bieniemy that he is really talking up Taylor Heinicke, really talking him up. And I think there's a strong possibility that they really try to make a move for Heinicke to be the backup with Sam Howell. And
I'm fine with that.
A lot of people are not. And here, they believe that Taylor Heinicke cannot be on this team because the crowd, as soon as Sam Howell throws a pick, the crowd's going to go crazy, chanting Taylor. It's going to scare Sam Howell, and we can't do that. We can't have this. The fans need to just be put on ice on this situation and just kill their dreams and not even bring back Heinicke. Do you buy into that at all?
No, I think it's BS because Heinicke won some games and almost beat Tampa Bay, but hadn't taken us anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's a problem. I mean, do you agree? It's like if Taylor Heinicke got us to the divisional championship or whatever, conference championship, and lost, and then they're like, oh, we're going to bring in Sam Howell, then the stadium's going to be bring in Taylor.
Yeah.
What's his name? Carson Wentz sucked for a long time, and he was losing games. Mm-hmm. It wasn't one pick here, one pick. It was like, okay, you're losing games. Mm-hmm. And if Sam Howell is losing 3, 4, 5 games in a row, then if the crowd's yelling, bring in Heinicke, okay. But it's not going to be like one pick, bring in Taylor, because Lord knows Taylor's never thrown a pick.
Yeah, that's a bit of an exaggeration, right? But maybe Sam struggles a couple of games. I don't remember our schedule hasn't come out yet, so I don't know. Maybe we have a tough early part of the schedule, this, that, whatever. Let's say we're 1-3. Heinicke is going to start getting those chances eventually. But let me say this too. Whoever the backup quarterback, especially in Washington, but I'm sure other teams as well, when the starter starts to stink or struggle, the backup gets love. Every time. Tom Brady is struggling when he's in 2016, I remember talking to my buddy Zach, who lives in Massachusetts. He's like, these freaking Patriots fans are nuts. Tom Brady has a couple of bad games, and it's Tom Brady. He's over the hill. We can't do this. We have to move on to Jimmy G, or move on to this, or move on to that. And it's time to move on. We gotta get it somebody new. Tom Brady, and then they win the Super Bowl. And you're like, what in the world? The Chiefs fans, I saw videos of like, is Andy Reid on the hot seat? Is Andy Reid need to step up? Is Andy Reid this? Andy Reid that? Like, even the great teams complain about their quarterback if things are struggling, right? Because remember, the Chiefs didn't start off hot, right? They were
they struggled most of the year, yeah,
or something like that, or like 5-4, and then they went on a huge win streak and ended up winning the Super Bowl. So yeah, it's definitely. I don't care who the backup is. If the starting quarterback struggling, Sam Howell's going to get some crap. I personally really like Taylor Heinicke, especially as a backup. High IQ quarterback, gamer. He's a guy that can come in, and he's proven several times that he can come in and win you games in a pinch.
Oh, he's focused on winning. He does not get down on himself.
Right.
He is focused on winning, and what do I have to do? I can see him in the huddle going, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. He sees the field. He's lacking some tools, but I agree with you. Very serviceable backup.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm interested in Heinicke. Somebody else mentioned Jacoby Brissett earlier, and I think it was Marcus. Was that his name in the chat earlier? Yeah, Marcus mentioned. Excuse me, Marcus mentioned it. I am cool with Jacoby Brissett as a backup. I think that's completely fine. I just saw this too at Tim Sports Talk. You signed with the team because you were Daniel Jones, and you finally realized that you are not worth $45 million.
By the way, Antoinette, you are on the money. Just fix the O-line. 100%.
Very true. Very, very true. And I hope that Bieniemy could bring in Orlando Brown. That would be huge. Brissett is not a starting quarterback. Oh, no, Brissett would be the backup for sure. But he's another guy that has shown that he could come in a pinch, win some games if you have to. Not as a full-on starter, but a guy that has some mobility, a guy that has a decent arm. Like, he could definitely, he could do it. Like, he can definitely be a solid backup for us. I mean, if you have to have him play 10 games, now you're in the struggle bus. But I personally would really love Heinicke back. I really would. And I
have no problem with that at all.
Only as a backup, though. I'm not a part of the Heinicke hive that believes that he's a true QB1 and that's who we should go with.
No, I knew that. I was agreeing to exactly the point I knew you were making is great backup, great guy to bring off the bench if you had to.
Somebody else asked this, or Jared asked this question. Do you enjoy watching Payne play? Do you think he does good things for our defense? 100%. Daron Payne is an absolute wrecker in the middle of that defensive line, right? He and Jonathan Allen, you can't double team both.
And Montez Sweat.
And Montez Sweat too, but the focus on the inside.
Yeah.
You have a guard, center, guard. You can't double team both. Right? And if you do, then the edges need to get after it. But you typically can't double team both. And because Jonathan Allen is there, Daron Payne has had success, and vice versa. Daron Payne definitely helps Jonathan Allen as well. Both are very, very good players. Both of them earned a Pro Bowl spot. Jonathan Allen earned it straight up, and then Daron Payne ended up being a replacement. And to your point,
maybe Montez Sweat looks as good as he does because of those guys in the middle.
Oh, 100%.
Double team.
Yeah. Having a great defensive line is huge in the NFL. I mean, we see it several times. I mean, the Chiefs had a really good defensive line with Chris Jones, Frank Clark, then Karlaftis they drafted, and then you had the Eagles in the Super Bowl with 4 dudes with 10 sacks. They were tremendous on their defensive line. We know what the Niners have on the defensive line. The Bengals went and got Hendrickson, and I think they went and picked up somebody else this last offseason that I'm struggling to remember. But their defensive line could get after it. Yeah, if you have a good defensive line, that's going to help your team 100%. So I'm completely cool with
Agreed.
paying Daron Payne, and I hope that we sign him to a long-term deal. I do not want him to play on a $19 million franchise tag. I don't want him to play there because I do agree with you to this extent, Dad. If they play on the franchise tag, that means they're walking next year. Unless you really want to pay him some massive bucks. So I either want to trade him this year now to get capital for him, or I want to sign him. Franchise tag to me is like worst case scenario. I don't want to see that. So there's that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, other people have now asked about the Jeff Bezos situation. So it was reported that he is being blocked from bidding on the team. They were saying that he was hiring a firm in New York to look into making his offer for the team. And then after that, it was rumored that Dan Snyder was blocking it. Do you think this is true, or do you think it's all rumors and it's all full of crap? Is Daniel Snyder really going to leave hundreds of millions of dollars on the table just to spite Bezos?
I don't know. Maybe the younger people in the crowd don't recognize this, but as soon as you started talking about it, it's like, where is this information coming from? Who's talking about it? Is it Jeff Bezos? Is it Dan Snyder? Is it the Washington Post? Who's spreading this information that Dan Snyder has decided that Bezos can't have the team? I'm going to tell you right now, Snyder is a businessman. If Bezos offers him $7 billion, Dan's going to say, thank you very much. He is not giving up $1 billion or hundreds of millions of dollars because he's angry at Jeff Bezos.
Right.
That's my opinion. I don't know anything, but I just want to know, and I've read it, to your point, or to what you were saying, I've read it all over the place. Facebook, ESPN. Oh, Dan Snyder is freezing Bezos out. Who is telling anybody that? Is it Bezos? Is it Snyder? Who knows that, and who's sharing that information? That's why I think it's BS.
Hey, I'm with you, and I hope it's BS. Some people are crapping on Bezos here in the comments. I know somebody was saying, Brandon, I think he'll promote left-wing trash. The NFL is promoting left-wing stuff anyway. It doesn't matter who our owner is. That's just how they do it. But the other thing is that the name's already changed, right? I would be completely anti-Bezos if our name was still the Redskins, because you knew Bezos was going to come in and change the name, right? I'd be screaming for Elon Musk just solely for the fact that I think Elon is the only one that would have the cojones to say, nope, I ain't changing it.
Look, Elon Musk is the only one that can buy the Redskins with petty cash.
Potentially, right? I mean, Bezos might be up there. I don't know. Bezos has a lot of money too, but
not in the ballpark of. Look, and I'm not defending Elon Musk, but he bought Twitter for $43 billion and still has over $150 billion in his kitty. I don't know what is Bezos worth. Not $150 billion. Like
he's
I
up
said,
there, but I think Elon is actually closer to $200 billion. Bezos is over $100 billion.
Well, he was. Let's look this up.
He's $117 billion, and Elon Musk is $197. So Elon Musk is definitely worth more, 100%, and significant.
And
more.
He's worth $117 billion, or 190. What'd you say?
$197 billion for Elon.
Okay, and that's after he spent $43 billion on Twitter.
Billion dollars.
Like I said, $7 billion. Elon Musk could sneeze $10 billion and not hurt his. So, and I'm not saying he's in the market, or again, not defending him or anything about him, but if Elon Musk wanted to own this team, he'd offer Dan Snyder $20 billion, and would be fine with it.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be that much higher, but I think if he came in with 7, I think he wins.
No, my point being is that he
Yeah.
could offer. He'd be the guy sitting in the back of the auction going,
You talking about
"It's
Elon?
100." Yeah,
Or
he'd
yeah.
be like, it's like, oh, $100, $150, $200, $250, and Elon Musk could come in and say, "I'll give you 10,000 for it," to make a point,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he's not in there, and look,
Yeah.
I don't know what Jeff Bezos is going to do. I don't know. I'm tired of Dan Snyder. I just want somebody else.
Dude, what I think Bezos would do, and why I really want Bezos, I think Bezos will have our stadium top notch. I think he'd be innovative. Like he's shown to be innovative in so many different scenarios. I think Elon Musk would too, but I don't know. Elon Musk can stay over there on Twitter, in my opinion. But who cares about that one? But I think Bezos would be very interesting to be the owner of this team and see what he can do as an NFL owner and how he can expand there. But I think at the bare minimum, the fan experience is going to elevate times 100, right? With going from the worst fan coach, or sorry, not coach, owner ever, basically, I think we would be going to one of the best, if not the best, in Jeff Bezos, just simply for the fact that look at how Amazon started and how Amazon works. All Amazon does is care about customers first.
Yep.
Like they crap on their workers, but their customers are top notch. But go ahead.
I was going to say we haven't covered the other angle, which is I've read a few different. I won't call them articles. They're pieces that say Dan Snyder knows where a lot of skeletons are, and the NFL is not going to kick him out, and he's going to go out kicking and screaming like he's going to. If he doesn't get the money he wants, he's going to come in and say, NFL, bring it, because if you bring it, I'm going to blow the doors off of this. And again, I'm not claiming the validity of what I read, but that's the argument is Dan Snyder, who was really close with Jerry Jones and some of the other owners, that he knows, again, where a lot of the skeletons are, and he's just biding his time. It's like, oh, you're going to try to get me to go out cheap? Bring it, because I will lay the lumber on the NFL.
Yeah, but I think they have a lot on Dan Snyder too, and it's more stuff's coming out as far as maybe some shady deals and shady business practices and on financially where they could get him in the pocketbook big time there. They already have the investigations going on with all the harassment issues and blah, blah. I think that there's more that could be thrown at Snyder as well. Like, yes, mud will be slung both directions, but Dan Snyder is going to catch the worst of it.
Well, again, and I can't argue with what you're saying, but
yeah,
the reason why think about it. With what Dan Snyder's gone through over the last couple years, why aren't the owners up on their soapboxes going, he's out, we're tired of this? Because he's got the goods on them. And
that's one angle. The more generous angle towards the other owners is, you don't want to be the owner that's trying to kick out other owners. Right?
Because it can come back to the boomerang effect. I got it.
Like Jim Irsay is like one special breed kind of dude that he's actually the only one that has come out and said anything negative against Snyder. Not necessarily because the other ones are all skeletons in their closet and it's all going to come back to them. It's just...
Yeah, but when did the Carolina... And didn't we talk about this? The Carolina Panthers owner got voted out, got knocked out by the NFL owners. There's precedence for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't pay attention to Carolina, so I have no idea how bad that was. But the fact that with what's happening with Dan Snyder, the majority of the owners are quiet. It lends some credence and again, it might be BS, but it lends some credence to Dan Snyder knows some stuff, so they're not. I mean, what the guy in Carolina do?
Tepper? I think.
Whatever.
Isn't it David Tepper? Why did he get kicked out?
They basically forced him to sell. I know that.
No, Tepper's now the owner. Who was the owner before Tepper? Sorry.
I know. I'm looking to.
Panthers' previous owner. I don't remember what he did, but he definitely got removed.
So all I'm saying is, to your point, there is precedence for the NFL going, you know what? We don't like what you're doing. You're out. Mm-hmm. And if they can't muster that with Dan Snyder, there's got to be something else there. True. He stole money from them. Yep. He stole millions of dollars from the owners, yet they can't get a consensus other than Irsay to say.
Yeah, I think it's mostly they just don't want to be they don't want to be the people that has an idea of what they're they don't want to be viewed as the ones that are trying to get other owners kicked out. I don't think it's a very good look. But yeah, Jerry Richardson, that's who it is. But anyway, all right, you ready for some Weddle?
Yeah. Let's go with Carson Wentz.
All right, we're doing Carson Wentz because we cut him. We're gonna use a 6'5" QB.
Not in the NFC.
Under 11. Interestingly, under the number 11.
Could it be Joe Burrow?
No. Joe Burrow's only 6'3".
He's a good quarterback.
That is in the AFC, though. We do need to stick to the AFC side of things.
How tall's Derek Carr? He's not that tall.
Derek Carr's, only like 6'3", 6'2", or something like that.
What other big quarterback do they have?
There's definitely some 6'5" or tall. Like, I'm thinking of like Josh Allen, but Josh Allen he's like number 17, right? Allen's number 17. It can't be Mahomes because Mahomes is number 15. So it can't be Mahomes because it's under number 11. So it's a.
What's a San Diego?
Herbert? It could be. No, I think Herbert's 6'6". Herbert, I think, is 6'6".
Close.
And what number is Herbert? I can't remember. Is it Lawrence? Is Lawrence 6'5" or 6'6"? I feel like we should be able to get
Trevor Lawrence is another one.
You know who it also could be? Could be Davis Mills or something too. Tannehill is older than 30. It's not Kirk Cousins. I want to get this in two. A 6'5" quarterback under 11. No.
I go with Trevor Lawrence because I don't think.
What number is he again? Did you look it up?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
But Trevor he's Lawrence. Low.
Oh, he's 16. I couldn't remember, and he is 6'6". Darn it!
And Herbert is not 6'5".
He's 6'6". I'm pretty sure, but I mean, I didn't get it in two, so I'll just. But yeah, he's 6'6" as well. So we're either in the north or the south.
Man, what quarterback is 6'5"?
Sorry, not the north or the south. The north or the east. I'll go with Allen, but Allen he's number 17. Yeah, it is the AFC East though. Okay, that.
Oh,
that
and
helps.
he's 6'5".
Yeah, I knew he was 6'5", but I knew his number was 17. So we are in the AFC East. Not on Buffalo, though. So we're either the Patriots...
It's got to be a back... At this point, it's got to be a backup quarterback, right? What other quarterback is 6'5"?
Yeah, because Tua's not 6'5", Mac Jones is not 6'5", Bailey Zapp is not 6'5", Zach Wilson's not 6'5". I don't think Mike White is 6'5". I don't think Skylar Thompson was 6'5".
Under 17.
Interesting. And it's a 27 or 28-year-old quarterback, so it's a middle-aged quarterback. Oh, it's... Nope, he's too old. Never mind.
All right, so wait. What's the AFC's? Buffalo?
Buffalo. It's not on Buffalo though. It's either on the Patriots, the Dolphins.
No,
or
I
the
know.
Jets.
I'm just saying. Who's the Jets quarterback? I don't even know.
It has to be a backup. You're right. Because this is weird. Who in the world? Oh, that's not.
What about Joe Flacco? Oh,
Flacco's too old. I mean,
no, it's over 27.
oh,
It's
is it
within
Glennon?
2.
Is Glennon on Miami right now or something? Nope, it's not Glennon. Who the heck is this?
Oh, Flacco is 6'6". Just trying to figure out who.
I'm just gonna go with Mike White for a second here. It is White. It is Mike White. Wow, I did not realize Mike White was 6'5". That's interesting. All right, well,
I had no idea.
who else we got?
All right, let's go with Daron Payne.
Daron Payne, if I can spell right. Daron Payne. Okay, Daron Payne. All we got is 25 years old. We are on defense. We're 6'1" or 6'2". Number doesn't really help. Could be anybody.
In the AFC.
And it is in the AFC. That's another good point. So a 25-year-old in the AFC. Interesting. Interesting.
What about like Bosa?
Could be a Bosa. How old is Nick Bosa? That's actually not a bad guess. Yeah, Nick Bosa was that age, but it's not a D end. So we're looking at corner or linebacker or something.
I'm sorry, I thought there was a Bosa in the AFC. What's his brother's name?
Oh, Joey Bosa's too old.
Oh, okay.
Because Joey Bosa's the older brother. That's right. I wasn't even thinking about the NFC or AFC at that point.
What about a Watt?
Yeah, it could be a Watt. No, it can't be a Watt now. No, wait. Watt's listed as a linebacker. But also, Watt is way too tall. Watt is not 6'1" or 6'2". So it's not a Watt. Unless it's but it's not an offensive player. I think the fullback Watt is. Gilmore's not 25. Somebody said Gilmore in the chat.
But it's definitely defense.
Yeah, it could be a
AFC.
25-year-old defensive player.
Six.
Let's just go with just.
So it's got to be 6'1" or more. Yeah, you said that. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna
throw this out there just to get some more stuff. Okay, so it's not a corner. I knew he would be. So it looks like it's got to be a linebacker with it could be a safety still, because a safety in like the 30s, but it's not the AFC North, so we're in either the AFC. Oh, it could be Derwin James. We're in the AFC West, and Derwin James is 26. I thought he may be 25. So we are in the West, but not a safety. So we're looking at a linebacker. Is it Bolton? Nick Bolton? Nope. But we are on the Chiefs, and it is a linebacker.
What about Dakota Allen?
I'm not sure.
Or is that?
It's Willie Gay. Willie Gay.
Ah. Beautiful.
Willie Gay. Boom. Not Quinnen Williams. There's a third Bosa, too? There is? Who's the other Bosa? I only know of Nick and Joey Bosa. I don't know. Isn't Chase Young 6'5" or Jordan Love? Chase Young is 6'5", but he's a defensive player.
But not anyway, in the AFC.
Not in the AFC either. So we got Willie Gay. All right, well. Another show in the books. That was fun. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys
love
awesome.
The comments as always.
Mm-hmm.
You guys make me laugh and give me insight.
That was a busy week of news for Washington. We were busy this week. For an off-season week, I mean, good grief. That was a lot. And I'm happy about it. Tim, when's your next live stream? That is a little bit up in the air. So this weekend is my birthday weekend. I also wanted to be upfront about this. So I ended up taking the week off of videos.
Yeah, he's hitting a big 3-0, just so you guys know.
I'm having a midlife crisis. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I took the week off from making the short.
Funny,
videos.
I am too.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna make any more of the breakdown videos, and here's why. Mainly, I don't want to, and I don't want. It's not that I like. I was thinking about like, what do I want to do with this channel long term, right? Like, what is my goals long term? And my goal is not to become a scout, right? Like, I'm not looking to break down film to be able to be a scout for a team one day and become a GM or something crazy like that. So I really want to start getting back into play-by-plays. I do like reporting on teams, so I'm going to start making some shorter videos about like the reporting of what's going on with Washington and maybe some other. And my next goal is really to try to find some other teams to really buy into, most likely in the area. Like, I think I want to, from now on, buy into more of the Terps basketball. I really like Terps basketball. And I don't like NBA, so I'm not buying into the Wizards very hard. I think I do need to look more into the DC Defenders. Unfortunately, I cannot call the game this weekend because I have I'm working Sunday because we're just slammed at work. But I may start doing some more play-by-plays of the XFL. But I think that's what we're going to start doing is more streams and try to get into another rhythm like the NFL season of streaming for play-by-plays. That's what I really like doing. And then being more reporting on the team. So I think that's more the direction that this channel is going to go into. Not that we can't talk about players for the draft. I will stream the draft too. And I'm still going to do that for sure. And we're still going to be interested in, and I'll still look into who we drafted, give my thoughts on those players. But I will say this. I did a lot of breaking down players last year and the year before. I didn't make a lot of videos last year on it, but I did a lot of breaking down different players. And I was sick when Washington didn't draft those players. And they were available, right? And I literally had like a mini depression. It was actually wild. I was so hurt by this, and I don't think it's good for me. I don't think it's good, and I don't think I need to be in there. I think I just should be reporting on who we draft, giving my thoughts on those, and being a fan of Washington and fan of the NFL in general. But that's just where my headspace is, and yeah. I was livid. I was at a wedding and I could not enjoy the wedding because I was that depressed about the draft. Like, it was bad. I hated what we did, and it is what it is. So I'm just gonna more react to what's going on with the team. I'm not making the decisions. I will give my opinions on those decisions, but that's my goal from the next. But yeah, right. I agree, Nicholas. I'm way too young to be stressing over something so little. I agree. But that's just who I is. But anyway, so that's the direction of the channel, and there'll be more to come.
Hey, Robert, Tim's been on the tirade, but
that's what I do. I talk. All right, that's why I have a channel. I'm a talking mother trucker. Right?
I have no idea where he gets it from.
Yeah, come to a Washington family get together and see who talks the most. We all can talk. Dad could get going on some stories. He can talk. That's for sure. But anyway, it was fun. All right, Tim. See you after your midlife crisis. Of course, that was tongue in cheek. I'm not literally having.
By the way, I'm on my second one.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. But anyway, what was the rant? Not much. Hey, you can just rewind. It's all good. It wasn't that much. I just given more direction of the channel. But anyway, any last things over there, J-Dubs?
Nope. I'm good. I'll just say, as I always do, thanks for everybody hanging out. Great comments, great insight, and thanks for hanging out with us.
I second that. All right, well, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and all that good stuff. Join the Discord, and I appreciate all of you in the chat and everybody that just watches these videos. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time, and I'll give you when the next time is later. But until next time, see ya!